Yo, 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 what's going on, you gamer folk? Your boy Mav-rik here, aka. I don't do AKAs for Daily Dose. What am I talking about? What up, y'all? This is Daily Dose. Your boy Mav here. This is the show where I do my best to answer all your guys' questions. Reach imav@gmail.com if you got a question. Just be specific in the subject of the email. You guys get to know me a little bit better. I get to know you a little bit better. And today we got Wifey in the building, so that we can answer some questions that you guys have wanted me to answer with her. So we'll just dive right on in it. So the first one, let me start stopwatch. So the first question comes via my man Corey. You know Corey. Shout out to Corey, Madden Mastermind.
Oh, like Corey.
Yeah.
What up, Corey?
Yeah, Corey. Yeah, he actually got married. I don't know if his wife's 1 or 2 years, something like that, but they're about to have a baby.
I was gonna say, is baby here yet?
Yeah, not yet. I think the baby's doing like February.
No, baby.
If I remember right, yeah. So they're having their first baby, and he hit me up. He was like, "Bruh, I love your daily dose. When you get a chance, get to that marriage question now." And so, yeah, got Wifey here. I'll give my 2 cents. She'll give her 2 cents. So, you go first. Ladies first. Share your wisdom. And now again, y'all gotta be easy on her. Her advice might be a little bit skewed because she has an advantage. Well, because you have an advantage over most people. You're married to me, so that makes your job
That's
a little.
an advantage. How?
It just makes her job so much easier, and so really it's a cakewalk. But I'm sure she might have something to help you guys out. Wifey, take it away.
No, not a cakewalk. While being married to him is amazing and I adore him, no marriage is a cakewalk, or it's not a marriage. But I feel like I missed the question. What was the question?
Just your overall advice on a
successful marriage. Okay.
Any wisdom you had? I don't know how long we've been married.
Okay, we've been married 4 years. For 4 years. And it's been fun. We've had our struggles like any other couple, but the biggest thing I'd say is communication and just making sure that you do your best to continue to date each other even though you're married. Corey, speaking to you guys specifically, especially since you're about to have a baby, that changes things. You have less time to focus on just the two of you because you have this other little person that both of you guys are so invested in, but you can't forget about each other, whether it's spending an hour a week having a meeting over coffee, or doing jumping jacks, or playing kick the can, or going to the movies. Whatever it is that you're doing. It's whatever. That might be fun for them. They may want to go jump around in the summer rain and kick the can and laugh and giggle together, and that's fun for them. I don't know what floats other people's boat. So, you have to date each other and spend time with each other, not talking about bills, not talking about the kids, not talking about Susie at work and how you want to beat up John. You got to talk about, fun things, what your interests are at that point. People change, things change. You gotta stay invested in one another and stay friends. Mav and I started out as best friends, and that's been a huge foundation for us. Even through our troubled times, we can always go back to the root that, we're buddies, and we can keep it together. Yeah, that.
Good stuff. Yeah, I think that's important, man. Being friends first. I would say don't even worry about being husband and wife, man. You need to get to the point and just work on getting to know that person, and so that y'all could be best friends, except you get to hit it, right?
Oh my gosh.
Because that's one of the best parts. We're talking to married folk, kids.
Okay, there's not just married folk listening. You can't say hit it. Stop.
Okay, kids. There's kids watching. I know that. I'm sorry. Kids, don't hit it until you're married, right? God set up a beautiful thing. Sex is a beautiful thing, but it's designed and meant to be enjoyed in the confines of a marriage. And so when you get married, you can hit it all you want. Okay.
Too much.
My bad. That's important though.
I'm so sorry. What are you doing?
I know. I was about to. Okay, my bad. So that's important. I don't know why I just wanted to go there, but what were we talking about? Marriage. I know.
Having a successful marriage.
Okay. And hitting it and
no.
It's bigger than that.
Communication, friendship.
Yes, friendship. Oh, so yeah, friendship is big. And again, for us, a really big part of our success is, I think, keeping God first as the root.
Yes.
And like she said, any marriage takes work. I don't believe you can have a successful marriage on cruise control, and I'll kind of come back to that on another note. But we haven't had the struggles that a lot of people I've seen around us, a lot of friends, peers, and their marriages. Looking at them, you know, they're a little bit rocky, and even I saw my parents growing up, comparing their marriage and there's older people we've seen with their marriage. We have something really unique, and I think we got a nice little combination of course, we keep God at the center, and here's the beautiful thing about that is, because we're both we're both Jesus freaks, and we're both crazy for God, and we're trying to always work on ourselves, is that we don't ever spend a lot of time trying to fix the other person, because it's really and actually this is an evolution I've had in our own marriage, is because I was really confrontational, right? Even I used to always like to debate. Even I used to go debate her about everything. I mean, I had to be right about everything. And what also came with that was like almost trying to like fix a person, right? It was like, okay, fix this, fix that, do this, do that. And I remember praying one time, and I'm not saying you guys shouldn't communicate with like, oh, this bothers me, or and communicate about certain things, but I got to a point where I was praying, and it was like, God, we need to fix this, and can we do that? And God was like, shut up. And he really hit me like that. He was like, hey, he didn't say shut up, but he was like, you know what about you though? What about this and that? What about all the stuff you need to work on? And then and she's actually always been good at this. This was something I had to have, but of revelation I had to have. But then, I was like, okay, cool. Let me just get on fixing me and all the stuff I got to work on. And it's crazy how as I better myself, and I'm in my word, and I'm constantly getting challenged, and I'm always comparing myself to Jesus and looking in the mirror of God's word and seeing how I can get better. I just become a better husband. I become a better father, and that she's doing the same. She's becoming a better wife, becoming a better mother. Not, but she's always been on point from the beginning. But I'm just saying, like, we're just constantly evolving. And so, yeah, I think that's a really big part, that we got Christ at the center of it. Like she said, being friends, I think we're really good at that. We excel at that a lot. And then just over communication. We communicate like crazy. Even going back to, us just being friends, and then even dating, I've taken the time to get to know her. Like, I've asked all the stupid questions, all the silly questions, all the funny questions, all the weird questions, all the uncomfortable questions. As we went from best friends even to dating and being together, we talked about all the weird things, all the things we were proud of, all the things we weren't proud of. I know, like, everything. So there's not nothing that someone can tell me about her, or someone can tell her about me. Did I say that right? Yeah. You know what I mean? That we don't know. So we've put in a lot of time, and that kind of goes back to what I was saying with autopilot. A lot of people, you'll invest in everything. Like if you're into video games or like something like Mutt, you'll invest your time into it, playing it to get better. You'll buy packs or cards, and you're just trying to get better at it. Like your car, you might invest into your car. You're always, you're getting oil changes. You're making sure your tires are good. You're maintaining it. You take the time to clean it and detail it. Maybe your clothes, you're spending money on cologne, hats, shirts, all that stuff to be fresh. But a lot of people take their relationship or their marriage, or even if it's just, like I said, boyfriend, girlfriend, and they just put that on cruise control. they don't really put that time and effort in it. Now us, we've bought books, we've read books together, we've, you know, invested time in understanding like love languages. We went to a little conference about it was like, yeah, like personalities and stuff, and we learned a lot. Basically we learned that my personality type is dope and hers is just aight, and she trying to catch up to where I'm at.
Is that what we learned?
Don't look at me like that, like I ain't.
That's what we learned?
I mean, basically. Maybe not exactly, but still, right? And so we've invested and we put time, and so, and we talk about things. It's like, let's say we have a disagreement. Often my question is, she hates this stuff at first, but she finally comes around. I'm like asking all these questions, like, wait, why did that just happen? Why did we have this disagreement? Why did we flip out? Why, you know, was I being sensitive, you being sensitive? Like, what was it? And then we always try to come to an understanding on what just happened so that it doesn't happen again. You know what I mean? So, like, we've had, like she said, we've had our ups and downs, but our ups and downs have, as we've constantly getting better, like, we haven't had no deep pits, no near divorces, none of that. Like, we've, but and again, because everyone goes up and down, but we've been solid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, some I don't know. But now we've been solid. So and I think, and so why have you guys been solid? Just to wrap up everything we've talked about, I think it's keeping God at the center, focusing on being friends that get to hit it, and then over communicate. I'm talking, we over communicate things. We talk about, I mean, my phone could ring right now and she could be on the other end of the room, and if I get a text message, I'm like, oh, that was my mom that texted me, or that was my boy that texted me, just whoever. Just little things like that. So there's not, I mean, and it sounds like so small and insignificant, and it almost is, but just because we over communicate that, there's no room for the devil to get in and sneak in little areas, because you know, the devil's in the details, like them little small things that just take root and never get handled, and those weeds just grow. So it's never like, who he texting? He texting that one hoe. It's just like, okay, that's his mom. Of course, we keep our phones unlocked. They're locked, but she knows my little thing. I know hers, and it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, I think since I got my new phone, I don't even have it. I think you just.
Oh yeah, you need to fix that. Yeah, you need to fix that actually. But yeah, like, we got the same passwords for everything, so it's like we communicate everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's never like no one's ever like, hey, what's up? You know, I saw your wife here, blah blah blah. Like, no, I already knew that. You know what I mean? Like, we're just, I think that's one thing we do really good.
I do too. I think it helps a lot, because especially as much as people are on their phones and things like that nowadays, it's so easy to be like caught up in the Twitter sphere and everything else that you're doing, and you know, it just becomes this thing that's like attached to you. But then if it rings, you're so quick to jump to it. But if my phone rings, it's across the room and it's a default ringtone, there's nothing in my soul that's not like, hey babe, answer that. Like, if he doesn't answer for me, I'm annoyed, because I'm like, well, just pick it up real quick, like, answer it, because I know that there's nobody on that end of the phone that's gonna cause any problems.
Kill everybody
in my household. So yeah, I think just keeping it open, and even if you're not as extreme as we are about it and everything, especially when you're spending time with your significant other, just, you know, push your phone to the side and spend that time with each other. Focus on one another. There's nobody on that phone that's more important than what you got going on right there. So yeah, unless it's Jesus, then you gotta answer the phone. Yeah,
Jesus got your number. all right, so I hope that summed it up. Think we did good answering that?
I think so.
Alright, so I got the question from Chris that was asked a couple shows ago. I'll save that for the end. Another one, we're making decent time right now. A question I get a lot and that I've answered without you is people just want to know how we met and, you know, our story that, you know, with that.
Okay.
So I guess you could give them, and we're doing decent on time, but just give us like a shorter version of how we met, when we met, how dope I was, and how we got to where we're at now.
Okay.
Word up.
Well, long story short, we went to high school together. We knew of each other, but didn't really become, like, have our own relationship until my senior year. So I was 17, he was 16. He's a junior. We had a class together, and we were in the same group, so we did a lot of group project. It was a digital communications class, so we made like music videos and public service announcements. So we had a lot of fun in that class, just spending a lot of downtime, just having fun, getting a chit chat. Those were note passing days. You fold them up all cool, pass notes all day. So we kind of got to know each other, just talking about life, our relationships, and everything. He carried his Bible around in his backpack. He reading his Bible and all kinds of stuff. So I was always like, oh, you're dope. Like, someday I want to have a boyfriend like you, but you could be my best friend. So I graduated. Of course, we stayed in touch and everything. Came time for his graduation. I was catching some feelings. Started to realize I might like him just a tad bit more than just being my friend. Then I found out he was moving back to New Mexico to go to school, and it broke my little heart. I was depressed in the world. I was sad. I cried a lot, and I was miserable. While he was gone, we continued to talk and just kind of transitioned from being best friends into like talking for a couple months, and then he asked me to be his girlfriend. Yay.
So long distance?
Yeah, long distance. We were long distance for a while. I think we started talking in May of 2009. He asked me to be his girlfriend in July, and then I moved out here in December. So I've lived out here for almost 5 years now. And then, y'all know, we got married a year later, and now we have 3 kids, and all of you awesome subscribers, and you pretty much know our life from that point on. So that's what happened.
No doubt. Good stuff, good stuff. And so yeah, and what's crazy, I mean actually I'm a believer in long distance nowadays, just because I've got some really cool relationships with like some of the guys I've met online, so I believe in that stuff. But y'all gotta realize our situation was a little bit different. We were best friends.
Yeah.
We didn't meet. Yeah. Like, we ain't just get together in January, or we ain't just get married in a year, or get together in July and then get married within like a year. I mean, I'm not saying people can't do that. That can work. I'm just saying our situation is a little bit different because we've been best friends for years before that. So, which is kind of one of our low-key advantages, because we really got to know each other without ever there being a front of like, oh, this is someone I'm trying to impress.
Yeah, because there wasn't that initial intention of ever being together.
Yeah.
I was the rebellious teenager, and he wasn't. So I never thought we would have ever ended up together.
Yeah. And so, yeah. And when we first became best friends, she had a boyfriend, I had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, that ended. But yeah. All right. So that's the story. Your boy Pimpin' Junior. She's a senior. How I do. All right. Is there any cool things about? I don't know.
No, what?
I'm just trying to think of anything else before we get into this last question that you should touch on. Now that I have you here, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what these. We might do more questions. I don't know. These other questions might inspire me. Just want to make sure we do a decent amount of questions, or just at least get Wifey a decent amount of airtime today, because I know her time is precious. All right, Christopher. So his question, I never even read this fully. Yeah, it's decent. Hey, Mav, can you answer this with Wifey? My name is Chris, and my wife and I are newly parents to an 8-week-old baby boy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's what's up. I am currently studying pharmacy full-time at university, working part-time and going through exams, all that at the same time. I want to know how you deal with stresses when it comes to your kids, and whether you have any tips for me to help support my wife with the little time I have when I'm at home. I study as much as I can at university to avoid distractions. That's smart. My future means the most to me, and I feel like I am neglecting my family, but I am doing this for my family as well. What helps you through times like these, and what do you and Wifey do to get through tough times? Much love and thanks, Christopher. God first, God bless. P.S. I watch your videos when I'm doing the night shift with my son. That's what's up. And I'm gonna get into this, but this is actually a really good question for me, because I've had a lot of the same struggles, and it's still a constant battle. I don't know if it'll ever be just just something that's not something I got to work on, but I know that feeling, right? And I've told you guys in a few different episodes, I think that's one of my biggest weaknesses, is I can be a workaholic. But I know for some people, it might be because they want to get away from their family, they want to get out the house, they can't stand their wife. I love my wife, I love my girls to death, and because of that, it motivates me. And so there was legit days, and Wifey can co-sign this, like when I was really getting first started with the marketing, I do 24-hour days straight up, you know what I mean? And if I wasn't doing 24, 18, 16-hour days for sure. Like, I just was locked in. I was trying to make it work, and it was rough back then. Just a shout out to Wifey, it didn't pop off right away. There was plenty of times where the bank account was negative, and there was plenty of, and just to shout her out for a little bit, and so y'all know how dope she was and how much she deserves everything we got going on right now. First off, she got with me when I was living with my mama, right? So don't ever have to worry about no gold digger or no stuff like that. And I think the main reason she did that, though, because she always knew where my mind was at, my vision, and she knew that was obviously not, things not gonna stay like that. She knew we'd be where we're at and beyond one day. But we've had some bad times financially that we didn't have to go through if I just would have had a regular old job. If I didn't feel like I was called to be my own boss, be an entrepreneur, and she didn't fully believe in that. There is plenty of times, I've probably failed in over 100 different marketing things, and that's not even an exaggeration, would you say?
It's not.
Like, legit. And of course now we look at it as it's not failing, it's just, it's 100 different ways not to succeed, right? A bunch of learning lessons.
Yeah.
But obviously in the midst of it, I was failing, right? I wasn't making money, and I would come to her almost every week like, babe, there's this new thing, it's gonna make us rich, it's gonna work, this marketing stuff is for real. And most of them would always have to require us investing money, spending some sort of money. Yeah, we spent thousands on thousands on thousands. So when I got confidence in just either what I'm doing or my marketing knowledge or just whatever, because I feel I've earned it. I feel we've sacrificed a lot on both ends, both financially, time-wise. She's had to sacrifice stuff as a wife. A lot of nights she went to bed alone by herself, handling kids. Like, we've been through it. Trust me. I wish someone would think we just got lucky or we don't deserve to be where we're at. So, let me just tell our story too. So for a while we were working, so we got our first apartment, and for a while I was working at a radio station, and she was working with my mom at, my mom had a home daycare. They basically like kind of co-owned it, so she was doing that, and I was working part-time. It was messed up, but they would work me like just short of full-time, but I was part-time, so they didn't have to give me no benefits and all that crap. And so I was getting $10 an hour, right? 10 an hour. And so my thing, she was making more money in the daycare, like hands down. That daycare money is almost like drug money, like it's real. And so but I was still working, and we were doing pretty good, but she would just see how frustrated I was every time I have to go to work. I would get like physically sick like Sunday night before I had to go to work on Monday, and I just hated it. I couldn't stand it. I had a good setup. I worked for the radio station, I was popular. People loved me because of it. I got free stuff. I got to go to concerts, meet artists. So it was technically a good job. Only thing wrong with it is I had a boss, and I couldn't stand it. And my boss was actually kind of nice.
Right?
Like,
nice boss.
yeah, I had like
dope.
the nicest boss. Never bossed me around, never told me what to do. And it's messed up. I kind of bossed him around sometimes too. Like, he was just a good dude. But I hated it. I just didn't feel like that's where I was supposed to be. And then so I came to her with this crazy idea, which if my daughters were dating a guy and he had this idea, I probably would look at them and be like, you need to dump that scrub. Forget him. So she's actually dope for this. But I was like, you know what, babe? I'm going to just go full-time in this marketing. We're doing good with the daycare. I think things will be all right. I'm going to just make this happen. You know what I mean? So I'm going to let go of my job so I can have more time to focus on things. And she was like, I believe in you. She didn't have to think about it. There was no hesitation. She was like, I believe in you. Let's do it. And then fast forward like a good year and a half later, right? Or at least a year, like nothing. Nothing's popping off. Nothing. I'm talking. And then it was crazy. It was really weird. I really feel it was God, right? We just started seeing the daycare fall off in these weird ways. Like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? It was weird, like, to how she started losing business with the daycare. So it was, God was like making it really clear that that season was ending. And so, and of course, she could have been like, yo, at this point, we at least had one kid, not the second one yet. And she was like, yo, she could have been like, Negro, okay, you need to take your butt to Safeway, to McDonald's, something, just to help with these bills. But, you know, we had very limited money with the daycare, and I was just still grinding. I had this vision. I believed in it, and she was crazy enough to believe in it still. So we've had, and she never really complained. Like, she didn't complain about nothing. She went through me through that deep, deep valley, man. And I'm talking things were bad to where we had to sell stuff. I think I told you guys before, we were like 2 payments away from these couches. We had these nice little leather couches.
A whole living room set.
Oh yeah, it was a whole living room set. We had like from this little place like Aaron's, kind of like a rent center, and we're 2 months away from that. And it was like, bro, you can't pay. Psych, give me that. So they snatched that, and so like we've been rough, not knowing how we're gonna eat. God, not knowing how we're gonna feed our kids. God's done some amazing things just to get us through that. We thought we were gonna lose our car.
In an ultrasound appointment.
Yeah, we were in an ultrasound for our second daughter, because we just couldn't pay it. We were just like, we don't know how we're gonna pay this. We're about the car we have now that's actually paid off. We were sitting in our second daughter's ultrasound. We were like, this don't make sense. We're about to be broke. Like, we can't pay this. They called. They're about to take it. We're like, yo, we just gotta let them take it. We don't know how we're gonna get to these ultrasound appointments no more, but we'll work it out. And yeah, and then God ended up working that. Money came out of nowhere, and we're obviously, like I said, we have it paid off now. So we've been broke. And but she's always just believed in it. And then I don't know if I told you. I think I told you guys, like, I had a little telemarketing job. I went in for a little bit, for like a day, and I ended up quitting that bad boy. Yeah, a day. I was like, something didn't feel right. I was on my lunch break. I cried. I was like, and I kept telling y'all, nothing felt right. And of course, I had my kiddo, and I was just like, this don't feel right. Like, I don't feel like God wants me to get a job. Like, and that sounds so lazy, right? It just sounds like it. Like, bro, you lazy? But if you would have saw the work I was doing in marketing, I was busting my butt 3 times as much as I would at any job. And I just told her, I was like, I don't know. I just believe. And then she was dumb enough to believe too. And then we hit a month, and then we think we like over like 14, 15,000 or something. We just had a really good month, and then things just snowballed, and it was like, woo! And then, yeah, and then we had marketing and stuff, and you know, now we're full time in the YouTube. But just through ups and downs, she's been there, man. And so when y'all see her, I know how dope she is. I actually think someone put that in the comment section when there was like, she's a gold digger.
Yeah, somebody.
You saw that?
I've seen more than one person say that.
More than one person say that. And was messed up, as I always see her reaction when she reads it, she be like, I definitely ain't no gold digger. Because in her head, she's playing like, if only y'all knew. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm just being real. Like, that's what it is. Like, I moved out here with my clothes. We lived with his mom in our little bedroom. And
one bedroom.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So
we definitely had to build everything that we got now from the ground up.
Like he said, it was a year and a half, and I was the only one working. We did this together.
Yeah.
We worked hard to have what we have. So yeah, it seems to be calling me a gold digger that doesn't know our life. No. Never.
I'm talking, there be days I'd be like, babe, I think this is gonna work. We're gonna invest in this thing. It costs $100, and we got $101 in the bank account. She'd be like, boy, if you say so. We do it, it would fail. Wake up a few days later, our bank account's in the negative $100. And that happened dozens of times over these years of me marketing, right? Because I was marketing even when I was still at my job.
Yeah.
So I'm talking, it got bad to the point where I'd come to her in tears in my eyes, like, because that's a real emasculating feeling, like when you're supposed to be providing for your family, but everything you try fails and your account's in the negative, and you're like, but your intentions are good, right? And so So yeah, dang, I didn't even answer this dude's question at all. Anyway, I just want to give her that shout out. We've been through we've been broke. All right, and then, so going to my man's question.
Balance.
Yeah, balance. So I know that feeling, right? Like, I've worked crazy amount of hours because you know, and you see, right? You might say, okay, it's paid off. For what I see and what I feel like God's put in my head and where I want to see us, my grind ain't done. It's really just beginning. I could fall back and I'd say we're at a decently comfortable place if we just wanted to be chill, mediocre. But we need to have enough to do stuff for our community, and we got to reach more people. So I'm still very much in the grind phase, and I want to provide for my kids even more than I do now. So, but here's the thing that I've grown to learn, and this is just recent. That's good, and I think it takes sacrifice. So it's good that you're doing that, but make sure you make time to spend time and enjoy who you're working hard for. Right? So what was I doing? I was working 24/7 to support my family, but I was never spending time with them. Right? And that's the issue. And this is how bad it got. It got to the point where with my first daughter, she was spending all the time with her, and you know, of course, I thought I was justified. I was like, all right, I don't see her as much. I was in the house. I literally, it was weird. It was almost as if I had a job somewhere. I would be locked in, literally in my room working all day. And then let's say I was watching her and she was crying. You know, your mom or your dad picks the baby up, the baby should stop crying. If Jazz, you know, Wifey picked up the baby would stop crying. My oldest daughter, Lorraine. If she was crying and I would pick her up, she would just keep crying. She would just like freak out as if her dad wasn't picking her up. And I remember that. And I remember it just hit me. It was like, bruh, that's not right, man. Like, you're working hard for this kid, but she don't get to see you that much. So, and then so I had to work hard to even just build that, right? Of course, y'all seen her interact with me now. She loves Pops, but I just had to work back into things, and I made sure I was like, I'm not going to let that happen with any of my other girls since. And so it's weird. She doesn't even know this, but I take pride. And even when my little girl Lyric, and it was the same with my daughter Lavelle, the middle one, when they cry and I pick them up and they stop crying, like, that melts my heart every single time. Because I remember a point with my oldest when that wasn't the case. And so because we never know when our last breath, like, we don't know when we're going to take our last breath. Mine could be tomorrow. Yours could be tomorrow. So it's almost like we work as if one day, right, everything will fall into place, but you don't know if that one day is guaranteed. I didn't know that my wife would have the health issues. She never thought she'd have the health issues that she's having now. So many things just came into play that when we were sculpting it, and I just thought I was gonna grind until we get that day where it's just comfortable. There's all these things that fall into place. I didn't think that, you know, she'd be in and out the hospital at times. Like, you just don't know. And so if anything, that's a reminder that I need to be still enjoying the time that I have with them now, but still also grinding. So with that being said, I still sacrifice, and we don't hang out as much as I would want to, but it's very important to me, and we still make sure to make the time. So that would be my biggest thing for you. With balancing, you will never have the perfect balance. And I actually heard this from one of my mentors, and I actually like it. And that's very normal, right? You'll have days where you know, every day of your life, it's impossible. You won't have every day of your life where you mix the perfect amount of study, the perfect amount of time with your kid, and the perfect amount of time with your wife, and the perfect amount of time with your friends. Like, there's all these different things that a man needs, right? You need time with your wife, you need time with your kids, you need time to work on your craft, your school, whatever it is. You need the time to work if you have any hobbies or just stuff to keep you sane, right? You'll never have a day where you balance all of that. So really what it is juggling, right? And you got to think, when you juggle, right, you take something, you throw it up. You know, it depends on how you're juggling. Sometimes as high as you can while you deal with these, and then you'll throw something else up. And so you got to realize it's going to be like that with everything that you got. Some days you'll go to bed and you'll be like, man, I'll go to bed. I didn't get as much work done as I wanted to today, but I spent a lot of time with my wife and my kids, right? And then the next day, I might have to make up for it. And then I get a lot of work done. But man, I wish I would have. It sucks that I had to miss jiu-jitsu practice, right? And and it sucks that, you know, me and my wife couldn't hang out and watch a movie, but I just can't make sure that work ball is up forever, because then that's got to come down, then I got to throw the other ones up. So I think make sure you're balancing, and you'll be all right, because you won't let any of them fall. But when you're trying to throw them all up at the same time and everything, and keep them all afloat, you'll drop them. So just know that it's okay for one to fall, and then you throw the other one up as you juggle things, and that'll kind of take a lot of pressure off you, and that'll help you get by on things. Ooh, I had another 2 cents that I want to throw in on it, but do you have? I mean, she juggles a lot too, though. Don't think just because she's a stay-at-home mom, all she does is look at snotty-nosed kids. Like I said, she's real deep into our church. She's handling the girls' stuff. But like I said, right, we're at a point where I could work less, but because I have a vision, like I still sacrifice, right? It's like my daughter has jujitsu, and like I'll miss jujitsu little practices and stuff, and because I still got stuff I got to build, and I got to get some momentum, because one day I'll be danged. I'm never gonna miss like an actual competition or some games or a recital. That's not gonna happen. But that's a sacrifice, right? And it sucks. And so some people might be like, man, Mav, how did you get to 100, almost at 100,000 subscribers? How do you have that connection with your fans? How are you able to reach so many people? Because it hurts at times. It's the sacrifice of missing jujitsu practice, missing Lavelle's gymnastics, you know what I mean? But again, with the juggling, then we come back, and I make sure I spend time. Did I something that you think I answered that well, or do you have?
I do. A big part too with you guys, because you guys have a kiddo. I know you kind of asked what Mav does, but for us, like, he focuses on all of this. You guys see me pop in from time to time, but at the end of the day, he's editing videos. He's the visionary behind everything. He's getting everything together. And those girls, that's what I do. Of course, when I'm sick, when I'm having my bad days, when things are going on, you know, he'll step in and he'll help. And he's around, you know, making sure he maintains that relationship. Even if it's a day I know he has a lot going on, I'll bring the girls in here to come give him a hug, come tell him goodnight before they take a nap, come see him when, you know, they wake up. And that does a lot for them. So even your days when you're studying hard and you have a lot going on and stuff with school and stuff, just tell you what, like, bring the baby in for a second, let me talk to him, whatever the case. And you know, just try and have those small times. Don't ever feel like it's like, oh, I can't spend my whole day, or I can't spend these hours, so I'm just gonna keep studying, or I'm just gonna keep doing this. Like, no. Mav has popped out of his room, watched an episode of Law and Order with me for a little bit, came back and kept working. But that hour meant so much to me. It was so nice to just get to hang out and spend even that little bit of time. Sometimes it's the little things. You might not be able to do a whole lot, but you got to do what you can. So yeah.
Alright, y'all. I think that was a good episode. We got Wifey in here, got her back. Did you ever see that when we did the house tour, someone was like, make sure you pee in her new sink?
Yes.
You think I've peed in your new sink yet?
Ew. No. You better not be peeing in my sink. Damn, don't pee in my sink.
I don't pee in sinks, though. The funny part is I don't even know where you got that from. I don't pee in sinks.
Because I caught you peeing
You
in
didn't
my
catch
sink.
me peeing in your sink,
I'm
bro.
crazy now?
No.
I walked
Stop.
in the bathroom, you're just
Stop.
on my
I ain't
freaking
peeing.
sink.
I was joking. I ain't peeing your sink.
I was watching you pee in my sink.
But how do you know?
Because I know what it looks like when stuff is out and pee is coming out.
Did you see the
of
stream
it.
though?
I did see
Or
the
did you just see
stream.
the stance? Did
And
you
then the
actually
look
see
on
the
your
stream?
face was just priceless. Yeah. I walk in the bathroom, you just.
How do you know I wasn't pretending to pee in your
Because I
sink?
know what pee looks like, Dan. I'm not stupid.
Alright, y'all. Another daily dose in the books. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I love bringing this to you guys. Always glad when we can get Wifey on here. Again, any more questions you got, reach iMav. I don't pee. Stop. Reach iMav@gmail.com. You got any more questions for me to answer with Wifey? Just make sure you include that in the title, like, or the subject of your email. Write the email and then like the subject, whatever it's about, and then say like with Wifey, maybe in parentheses, something like that. But all right, y'all. In the books, you got any closing words?
No. Love you guys.
Word up. We appreciate you guys, man. Support means a lot. Y'all be easy. Till the next time. Hold on, I gotta get ready so I can close it. All right, y'all be easy. Till next time. God first. God bless.